Hello and welcome back to another episode of Farming Life at Lafort. For those of you who are new here, my name is Laura and this channel is all about farming in France. In today's episode I am going to be getting ready as we're going to be buying some calves. So we should be buying 10 or so calves depending on how many's ready when we get them. And then tomorrow Mum and Dad are going to be selling our bull Jim Bob, so he's our Belgian Blue. So they will be driving 4 hours away from here to another Irish farmer. So they're selling the Belgian Blue to him, and then we are getting our calves off that same farmer, Andrew Fahy. So you'll get to see our calves coming onto the farm and how we're using the feeders and feeding them, and all just how we're going to be set up with them. And then at the end of this week, normally we should be getting some fine weather, a bit like today. And then at the end of this week, normally we should be getting some fine weather, a bit like today. And we should be getting the last of the winter tillage sown, so Dad should be finishing off our wheat, our winter wheat. So we'll show you guys how we turn our own grain into seed. So we'll show you the process through what we do before sowing the grain, so you get to see that. And if all goes well, we should be finished with our winter tillage by the end of the week. So we're buying about 10 calves and we're going to be putting them in here. And we're just going to rear them. So I think they're about 2 weeks old when we get them. But we will be feeding them milk in these buckets. We haven't really got a very elaborate way of feeding them. We do have a louve down below that we use for kid goats, but for the amount that calves drink, we'll be putting them on the buckets. So now what I'm doing is we have these 2 wooden feeders, well, 2 wooden troughs. We used to have these at the edge of these 2 pens anyways, a little bit shorter, so on some of them I have things like this just to extend to the end. And this middle bar here, so I've just started already, I've taken off and just moved it up so the calves can stick their heads out there. And now I'm going to put a board along, don't know if you can see, put a board along the inside here so I can put some lats over. So I was going to do 5 because we were planning on getting 10. But if I do 5 to have it evenly and looking properly, one head would have to go here in the middle, which is not possible, and it's just too much hassle if I have to take that out and move it. So it's big enough to do 6. It might be a squeeze for the calves as they get bigger, but then they'll be moving on to solids anyways. And even if there's one idle, it's better than having them 4 and one of them having to drink later. So this board here that we had moved up, it's looking maybe just that little bit too small. It's for calves, not for goats. So it's looking just that little bit too small, so we might actually take this board out of it and put it at the bottom so that when the calves stick their head in and they put at the bottom, it doesn't slip out or move. So now the next thing I want to do is, we've got lats that are the same size as these ones. I won't line up with that, but it'll be okay. And from the back up, we're just going to put lats as well so that the calves put their heads into one and they're not all pushing trying to get the same one. The lats will help with that. In the end, I actually decided that the board that was along there, when I took it off, I actually just used it on top. Instead of getting another board, either joining into pieces, which would just look horrible, or get another board and having to cut it to the right length. When I put the buckets in, I kind of tried it, and they don't seem to slip under like I thought they might. So there's no real need for a board underneath. So I put that board on top. It's perfect length. Looks okay, so that now does the job. So this side here is done, so just put these on. I just need to screw them in a bit better. And they're already tacked on, and then the bucket just falls in nicely. And you can just leave the bucket. Anyway, these ones are a bit of a squeeze, but with milk in it, and a calf's head hitting it down to the bottom, they should go in pretty nicely. So we have a new dog in the house. Our fat youngest little goat here. So today Mum and Dad have just gone to sell a bull, so I will show you a clip of that now.
Good morning. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. We're heading out to load up one of our Belgian Blue bulls, Jim Bob. We're driving about 4.5 hours away to deliver him to another Irish lad. So, can't see a whole pile here now. We'll video him loading up.
Yes, I'm trying to work. Smallest one's out first. Or at least I hope that's the smallest one. This one follows. So we are going down here now. So we got our calves. I'm just going to feed them, so you get to see how we use the feeders. We have already fed them last night this morning, so this is their afternoon feed. They don't get as much, but keeps them happy, keeps them healthy. So we're just going to make up a few buckets. So we have got a louvre. The louvre is like an automatic feeder for calves. We use this for when we're in kids. However, as we are only doing 8 calves, we're just going to feed them on bucket rather than setting up that. So here we're going to feed our first calves. So this is our afternoon feeding. This one here. These ones are our faster drinkers. So we've separated the ones that are a bit slower to drink and the faster ones. It makes it handier that these ones that are all battling for it and full of energy, trying to get to the milk as quick as possible. But you get 1 or 2 that are still always a bit slower, or a few that are faster. Okay, so these are our slower drinkers. Still good drinkers, but just a little bit slower than the other ones. Which is not a good or a bad thing. I guess it's just easier on their stomachs. And then this one over there is not fully, it's not drink on her own yet, so I'm going to bring her in. No, in your own. The other three know how to stop by themselves, so they'll figure themselves out. So what I mean by slow is they'll kind of get to it and stop and get to it and stop. You just have to get them in to drink it on time before it gets cold. So the last thing to do with the calves, once finished feeding them, is, so we have 4 calves aside. So the last 2 slots, we just put a bit of fresh hay. They don't eat a lot of hay. They do just kind of chew on it throughout the day, nibble at little bits. So by having it there as well, it gets them used to coming up here every time they want to eat, which also helps to train them in. So that is that for our lovely calves. I'm very happy with them. It is my new little project that I'm can't wait to get started. It's like kid goats, only a lot bigger and a bit more of a wrestling match to get to drink, but they are a bit smarter, that they do catch on a bit quicker when drinking. These ones would have been the harder ones because they were on the mothers, which when you have them on the mothers always makes them harder to get to drink afterwards, especially just main thing with the taste of the milk being different. But once they get in and get used to this milk, they will be flying it. My little number 10 is there peeking out, so probably shouldn't have a favourite, but I do. So yeah, very happy with the calf, and you will probably see more of them in episodes to come, just because, well, this is what I'm going to have to be doing every day, a couple of times a day, until they grow up. It is the 31st of October, so it is Halloween. It is now 14 years since we moved to France today. I'm just going up here now. Dad is sowing the last of the wheat for the year. So our 8340 again with the sprayer. So the next job will be to clean the valves, and then we're going to put antifreeze in the sprayer. So even though the past 3 years we haven't need to put any antifreeze in, because it wasn't cold enough, even though we put some in, but we just didn't need it. This year we're going to put it in again. Hopefully we won't need it, but better safe than sorry. So this is the GPS that we have. So we have it in this tractor now. We're using it for spraying. So as we grow our own seed, Mum sprays the seed. So it's a GPS that we can take out of this tractor and it will fit into any tractor. It's handy to have for spraying and sowing and things like that. So in there at the back is our seed cleaner. So as we use all our own seed, so we'll first clean all our own seed. So that is the seed that's over there in the trailer beside Mum. Valdestrad holds a ton of seed. This is their second last load for the year. So we clean all our own seed, and now Mum is putting a fungicide on it there now with the sprayer. So at the beginning we would have mixed up a batch, and now that we're coming to the end, we're just spraying it as we need it. Make sure that we don't spray anything we don't need. So that's that for this week's episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. Also, I am putting the link to my Etsy shop down below in the description. So if any of you are interested in, I have little wooden tractors up, so just wooden tractor gifts. I'm also going to be doing very soon a collection of Irish Celtic knots, so either for the Christmas tree and wall ornaments. So if you're interested in any of that, you can check that out below. Until then, see you next time.